The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Let's say this here. The boys are back in town, as we always say. Like, that's an old Eddie Murphy movie. I think that was 48 Hours. They were playing that in the club. One of those clubs where the ladies are scantily plaid. DA and Guy, I know you guys. Let me not say that. Maybe that's for people listening that shouldn't be. But yeah, the boys are back in town. We're going to get it all together here. This is Johnny Mack here. I'm sitting right here, right next to two of my favorite guys, the big fella. Guy, Scoreboard Guy, and the coach, who went on a rant on social media. We're going to bring that up a little bit later about how he felt like he was just disrespected, and there's no way in hell that they need to be playing home games and he's student all this. And it was so well put together that I almost shed a tear. DA put some thought into that. So we'll talk about that a little later. Make it so bad. We'll kind of end the show with what Coach had to say, because I think he had a lot of good points about what was happening inside of there. But fellas, it's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? We've been putting out content. Everybody's been busy. People have been sick. DA had basketball. Guy is doing guy things. And Johnny Mack is just sitting around here being lazy sometime. And had a lot of people come in out of town, and dealt with a couple things myself. But I'm back. I'm happy to be here. Guy, tell me what's going on with you, fella.
Hey, first off, I got to give you congratulations on the accolades through 417. Johnny, we're proud of you. Really enjoyed reading some of those things and watched some of the interviews. So my hat's off to you, sir. Congratulations.
Put it back on, damn it. All right, go ahead. Put it back on.
Oh, hey, we're coming out of basketball. The NCAA is over. I'm getting fired up for baseball. The Cardinals are under 500 after their loss today to the Phillies, but golly, break up the Royals and what's going on there. They've won 5 in a row. They're playing right now as we're recording this, but it's baseball season. The temperatures are getting warmer, and it's a great time to be a fan here in Missouri of high school, collegiate, and professional sports.
I would agree with you. Tell me, DA, what about you, my friend? How you been?
Doing well. Just finished up another basketball season and recuperated from that, and looking forward to a good spring and enjoying some family time, some downtime, and start to follow some Major League Baseball. I'm ready for it.
I love it. So listen, everyone, you're listening to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside the Bambito's cafeteria, should I say cafe studio. And gentlemen, let's just jump right into some of the hot topics that we've been discussing. I can only speak for myself. The NCAA tournament, something's going on. I don't think it needs to be fixed like the NBA All-Star game. It lacked the excitement that I wanted. Maybe because I didn't see Indiana State get in. I thought some of the mid-major teams, that was one of the top ones. That if any of them should have been in, that was one. I wanted to see what they could do, but it just didn't draw me in. I remember I used to couldn't sleep, the night before the tournament. I would call in work and practice my old sick voice. I'm not gonna be able to make it in. Everybody's like, yeah, enjoy the game. But I mean, it just didn't happen. And DA, was it there for you? Was it just me? Talk to me.
It wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I can't pinpoint exactly what it is. Usually the play-in games, actually the Sunday prior, when they start announcing the field, and you can start debate on who's in, who's not, who should have been in, who should have been out. All that kind of plays out throughout the season, or out throughout the postseason. But something was missing, And I felt myself more drawn to the girls' tournament just because of some of the storylines there. And Caitlin Clark, for as great as she is, that wasn't really the only storyline that I was following. You know, South Carolina, an undefeated season. Could they get through, you know, the gauntlet of a postseason tournament to maintain an unblemished record, which is an amazing feat. And just some awfully good players throughout the tournament that you know, I think we were kind of introduced to. I hate to say this, and I have mixed feelings about this, but I feel like a lot of casual viewers feel like the NCAA is kind of like the Wild Wild West right now.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of it takes that certain element and that certain passion away from it for a lot of people.
Yeah, I completely agree, Guy. With NIL money being spread around and kids are just jumping in and out of that portal, and it just doesn't bring. Something's missing, and I don't know if it's going to go back to the way it was, or we just need to get used to the new norm. What are your things, Scoreboard? What are your
Well,
thoughts?
I tell you, you talk about that NIL and the portal and things like that, where guys are jumping back and forth. There wasn't really that name recognition. You know, DA talked about, you know, Caitlin Clark, and you had Angel Reese at LSU. You had that. You did have that kind of that person you rooted against in Kim Mulkey as a coach, but there wasn't that name associated. I mean, the most famous guy in the tournament is Jack Goki from Oakland, who hit 10 threes. You know, in that first game when they upset Kentucky. You did have Yale beating Auburn in that first round, so you had that 14-3 in two cases there. But you look at the tournament, you had Zach Edey, but he's not somebody you could really associate with there at Purdue. You had Paul Luss sitting on the bench at Purdue, so there's a name that you knew. But outside of two or three people, I mean, I couldn't name one guy on UConn. I mean, outside of Danny Hurley.
Yeah.
You know, and you talk about a guy that's going to make a lot of money. I mean, that guy, he's probably the face of the tournament, especially over the last 2 years. He's went 12-0 in the tournament, winning back to back for the first time since Florida did it in 06, 07. You know, then on the heels of this tournament, you got Calipari leaving Kentucky, which is a blue blood. You know, what in the world is he leaving Kentucky for? And then now they got guys with cameras out watching him walk his dog in a baby carriage. You know, and you know, he's on his way to, you know, the University of Arkansas. He's going to get $35 million a year plus $1 million signing bonus.
Not get 35 a year.
35 million in over 7 years.
Over 7 years.
Over 5 years. 7 million a year for 5 years.
There
so
you go.
35 million. So my apologies.
Yeah, you get $35 million a year. I would say you did the right thing, my friend. Okay,
Right, that's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. I don't care how blue of a blood you think Kentucky is. You got red blood in your body, and go ahead and go and get that money, right?
Yeah, you could even sign a contract with that blood.
No, you sure can. Cut yourself. But yeah, there's a lot going on, and I mean, and so if you had to put all that together, UConn's victory was anticlimactic. I thought the Final Four, when I looked at it, here's how bad it was. I forgot Alabama was even in the Final Four, and I was like, hold up, stop. That's a bad game. I don't really want to watch that because I just knew they didn't have a chance. It was just so much going on that the women's had that person that you could kind of go, she's doing some phenomenal things. She's doing, and Caitlin Clark. And then, you know, Kelly Harper, I hate to say this, but if she guards the center, and she probably still has a job at Tennessee, you know, and they beat South Carolina, and we're not even worried. I mean, so it just goes so crazy. But the girls' tournament definitely offered to me more excitement than the guys' tournament. But then you bring it back home. Missouri State loses in the tournament, and then that Sunday they fire a good friend of the program, Dana Ford, a good friend of mine personally. They release him, and then they bring in Conzo Martin. So now I go to the press conference, and I was expecting, you know, a couple dozen people there, and it's packed. So, I mean, there's people there that are very interested in the program, Missouri State. But overall, men's basketball is going to have to do something with this transfer portal to slow it down or either regulate it a little bit more. What are y'all thoughts?
Yeah, I completely agree. And I don't know if you need to get in a situation with the NIL money, where say if somebody transfers and all that NIL money that they made while they were at your university, they have to give back, because that came out of your university. If you want to transfer or you want to, it'd be like a trade almost. There's something that's going to have to change in that way, or just going to have, it's the wild, wild west out there right now. And I mean, you look at Coach Martin, and he's already in the transfer portal, and they're talking about kids that he had recruited when he was at Mizzou or something like that he's trying to get in, and they're searching. Missouri State's doing like everybody else. They're searching for NIL money as well. Because that's what the kids want, is to get paid while they're playing. And I don't disparage them from that, because it's legal, and it's capitalism. Now, I don't like the fact that it's legal, but it is legal. So just like smoking marijuana is legal, I ain't going to do it, but it's legal. And so I'm not going to disparage anybody that does do it. But something has to give, or we're going to get down a road that across the bridge burn behind us.
Yeah, DA, I tend to agree with that. It's not as prevalent on the women's side, but the men's side I look at it as being out of control, and I'm pro athlete. I am pro for the athlete getting paid, but I'm just like, we got to regulate it where it's just a little bit too much right now, DA.
Well, it's taken away amateurism at almost every level. If you really think about it, and that even goes down into the high school level. When your big three shoe companies are paying teams to come to their tournaments in the summertime, when they are sponsoring teams from head to toe, with a good benefit for the coach to be a Nike team or an Adidas high school team, or at all, from the high school level on up. I mean, at one time you had high school kids taking a pay cut unless they were getting money underneath the table to go to play college ball.
Right.
And now, I mean, if you do take a look at it on the women's side, there are players that are going to the WNBA that are going to take a pay cut to be able to go play professionally. And to me, that's just, it's backwards. And there's something that has to be done. Rules and regulations are out the window. I don't know. I can't say that I know what the answer is.
Well, I think the only way it's going to get stopped, and this is how it got started, is the United States government got involved. Yeah. When Nike and Adidas were giving all this money to these assistant coaches at Arizona and at Kansas and all that, the IRS realized that, hey, we're not getting our cut. They're not paying taxes on this. And I think that's what's going to happen. A lot of these college kids that are getting all these thousands and thousands of dollars, and even $1 million in a Caitlin Clark's case, at some point, they're going to have to pay the piper. And if you don't, the government, the IRS is going to come calling, and that may put a stop to it, which is kind of how it got started, was the government realized, hey, we're not getting our cut of all this money that's going out. I think that may be something that's on the horizon.
Yeah, they're definitely going to address it. They're definitely going to have to address it, DA. Hey, look, we're just getting started here. I'm telling you what, we just got in the car. We just turned the air conditioner on. We just got out the garage. We just getting on the highway. We ain't made it there yet. So we're gonna take our first break here. And don't forget how you listen to Huddle Up inside the Bambino's Italian Cafe studio here on Missouri Sports Network. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thank you.
We believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
Hi, I'll have the avocado toast minus the avocado.
So, toast.
Yeah. Everything is so expensive these days. Hey, Chevy gets it. That's why they're keeping prices down to earth, like on the most affordable EV in America. A super strong and capable Chevy truck. And a high-tech Chevy SUV. Why is Chevy making affordable vehicles connected by OnStar? It's so together we can do more.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside the Bambino's Fine Italian studio. We are here with Super Sleuth Guy. Let me tell you something, everyone out there in La La Land. If there's any time you hear something, tell Guy because he'll believe it. Just Guy already talked. Guy will believe anything you say. No, I heard him. The guy came up to me at Taco Bell and he said, I swear to God, he said that John Calipari actually got a phone call from Kyle Moulton. You know, he seriously thought about it. It came right from the horse's mouth. Guy will believe whatever you say. Okay, so if you got any rumors you want to get started, just go and tell old Scoreboard Guy, and he'll get it out there. And I'll tell him, Guy, don't believe anything you said. But if you leave it up to Guy, the Scoreboard Guy, he knew Conzo Martin was coming in before Dana Ford even got released. You ask Guy, he go, I heard it 2 weeks before it all happened. I knew Conzo, and I was out there. We were out there helping kids on the streets and saving lives and out at homeless camps. And Conzo told me, hey, man, I might take that job. I say, so you got to love him. All right, you got to love Guy. But here we're going to go. We're going to jump into some things here. We need to really hit on some high school because there were some local teams here that made it to state. Kickapoo girls and Central boys in the city had made it down the state, but it came up short. Guy, did what are your thoughts and kind of run through the lineup on who became state champions in the 2023-24 season?
Well, first off, congratulations to all those teams that did. I mean, it was a tremendous season for a lot of teams. You talk about Central and what they were able to do and make that run. Springfield Central hadn't won the conference in 15 years and hadn't beaten Kickapoo in 15 years. The next thing they're going to the Final Four. They came up a little bit short there at the Final Four. Cardinal Ritter wins on the boys' side in Class 6, and Vashon in Class 4 on the boys' side. You had a Hartville team, boys' team, Chadwick boys' team. You got Platte City or Platte County, Platte Valley. Who knows? They don't even know what they're called because they're not even called that by MSHSAA, but they come up and they get a state title there on the girls' side in Class 1. Fairgrove goes back to back. On the girls' side, Hartville last year, Skyline girls who last year lost to in the Final Four to Fairgrove. Fairgrove jumps up. I mean, they remain in Class 3. Skyline drops, and they get another chance to go. So just some tremendous stories there, and maybe kind of a disturbing story or a sad story that we hope the ending it turns out well. Incarnate Word head coach Dan Rothfuss, who earlier in the season they had broken Stratford's games.
Consecutive game
win streak. They go on. They win the state title. They beat a good Kickapoo team on the way up the stairs. After the game, he suffers a massive cardiac arrest. Luckily, his wife was right there, who was a nurse. They did 2 hours of CPR on him, got him to Columbia Hospital. Just recently, about a week, 10 days ago, he was moved from Columbia Hospital to Barnes Jewish Hospital in St. Louis. They just took him out of ICU just a couple of days ago, put him on a different floor. He's up walking around. He's still got a long way to go. But obviously thoughts and prayers are with Coach Rothfuss and his family and the whole Incarnate Word basketball family. And as our thoughts and prayers are with him.
Absolutely, man. Kudos, to those teams that did make it. I've lost a state championship game, and to this day, I'll think about it, and it still brings up, some memories of fondness of having that journey, but that I couldn't finish it. So I know my heart goes out to those that weren't able to finish it, but at least you got those memories to get there. And DA, while we're on it, I mentioned earlier that. And I want you to speak on this as long or as short as you want to, but there is an issue about traveling and fairness when it comes to playing these games, especially before you get down to the semifinals. You usually want to have a neutral court where traveling is equal, but at least the court is neutral, and that's not something you guys experience, right, Coach?
Yeah, and it's not just us. For those who don't know, I coached the Walnut Grove girls basketball team this year, and we were fortunate to make it to the state quarterfinals. And for those of you that do not know where Walnut Grove is, we are just north and west of Springfield by about 20 miles, maybe not even that far. But we played our state quarterfinal game at Delta, Missouri, which is pretty much in the Boot Hill, 4.5, 5-hour drive by bus in order to play a quarterfinal game. And this year, MSHSAA switched things up. And let me preface this by saying that there are a lot of good people at MSHSAA. And this was just a circumstance that I don't think they had planned on. But the Delta had traveled 4.5 hours to play in a sectional game. If you remember back to your playing days, a sectional game, you may travel an hour and a half to a neutral floor to play. This year, MSHSAA decided to play after the district round, play games at a home site according to where you landed on the bracket. And Guy can probably explain that a little better than I can. We just went and played wherever they told us to play. So, but we ended up in the state quarterfinals having to go to Delta, 4.5, 5-hour trip. Me, along with my administrators, determined it would be best to go up the night before. So girls missed a day of school prior to going up. We missed a day of school on Friday, so we missed 2 days of school. Had to spend money traveling, hotel rooms for the entire team, meals, so forth and so on, plus the fact that parents, fans, people like that had to travel that far to go watch their loved ones or watch the team play in a state quarterfinal game. So it was not a good situation. Yeah. And I think part of the problem is that anytime a decision is made, it's not so black and white for a school, say, the size of Walnut Grove, as it would be for, say, a school the size of Lafayette in St. Louis. What may work for Lafayette High School may not work for Walnut Grove. Right. And it's apples and oranges. And so hopefully through my little rant on Facebook, I hope that it brings light to and attention to some of the things that I feel like have been fixed that weren't necessarily broken to begin with. Sure. And there was a time where things were much simpler. Boys and girls played on the same night. Gyms were packed at a neutral site. The atmosphere was great. And I just think it would be wise to get back closer to that type of atmosphere for the kids. Yeah. That's one thing we have to realize. This is about the kids. This is about their experience. It's not about filling coffers. It's not about coaches. It's about the kids and the communities.
Yeah, I hear you, Coach. Well said. Yeah, you wrote a very nice little piece there on your social media platform. I don't want, you're right, MSHSAA. They have great people there. They did a great job. Just something we want to just make sure that we cannot have that happen again. And that would be best. We don't want to duplicate that. So appreciate you talking about that, Coach. I know you'll be looking for another job tomorrow because they're going to fire your ass. But
I was fired before I ever took that job, baby.
He's on Missouri Sports Network talking again about him. They get him out of here, okay, guys? Him and that damn Johnny Mack and that scoreboard kid.
They're doing me a favor.
Him and that scoreboard kid, Guy. They're out there doing their thing again. We just having a little fun here. You know what? Let's lighten the mood here. Let's talk about a little baseball. Guy had said it's a wonderful time to be alive and be able to enjoy and experience some of the sports that we have going on right now. Also, the NBA will be starting their playoffs. My Blues are 5 points out of the final wild card spot, which I don't think we'll be able to overcome Vegas and get in there. But baseball is still young, and a lot of hope and promise. And with that comes the Cardinals and the Royals, who both are playing decent. If you had to look at them and say, what do I see? I see two teams that will probably be able to compete with the Cardinals, even though we lost the opening series 3-4 games to the Dodgers. We had a chance to kind of split that series and end up losing that last game. But I think we're going to be okay, guys. Let's talk about those two teams. What do you guys see as being some of the strengths and even some of the weaknesses?
Well, I think the Cardinals, it kind of starts and ends with their starting pitching. I mean, you start the year with Sonny Gray, on the IL. Now, he comes back yesterday, throws 5 shutout innings. Yesterday, they get a win. Lance Lynn has not been bad. He lost today, but gave up 2 unearned runs in the first inning. Where the Royals went out and, they got Michael Wacha and they got the other guys that they added to their rotation, in the offseason, which is something the Cardinals did not do except for, they added, but then they're the oldest pitching staff in Major League Baseball with what they added, and they lost the oldest player in Major League Baseball off of their roster last year, Adam Wainwright, who retired, and they got older as a unit, as a pitching staff, but I like where the Cardinals are at 6-7. They could easily, be at 3-10 right now with the likes of the teams that they play with, the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Padres, and the Marlins. Now the Marlins, they're struggling to open the season, but you didn't know that going into this season. Where the Royals are 3 games over 500, they've won 5 in a row. They've already had 8 quality starts here, the first week of April, and last year they were 60 games into the season before they got 8 quality starts, and that was like in July. So their pitching staff has been as good as there is in baseball right now. Now, they haven't played the competition the Cardinals have, but both teams play in the 2 worst divisions in each league. So the Royals have got an opportunity here to make a run, and with Bobby Witt Jr. In their lineup, and Salvi Perez. Obviously he's an older catcher, but being able to DH him, play him at first, and keep his legs going this season. That's a plus. So I'm looking forward to it. The Royals haven't been 3 games over 500 this late in the season since 2016.
And we're early in the season.
11 games in.
Hey, I am not laughing at the Royals. I'm just laughing at that this is considered a pretty big milestone for them. Look, Kansas City, they drafted decent. I don't follow them like I do the Cardinals, of course, but I knew they had that young stud, and with a young stud, you can do a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? If you can get him in and out of that lineup and getting good things and getting people to kind of compliment him. DA, I hate to do this, but this is the one time of the year, maybe the only time, that we actually let you talk about the dang on Cubbies. If you got anything good to say, they've been playing pretty good ball. Is there anything you like to say about the Little Bears? You like to share with our audience?
Not really. It's a young season, and I think once we get through May and into early June, things are going to start separating themselves. And it's like Guy and I were talking today. The Cardinals are in last place in the Central Division, and they're 3 games out. They can make that up in a weekend series. So I do think the Central Division is going to be a very tight race throughout. I think there's a lot of quality teams, not really great teams, but there's a lot of quality teams, and I think that being able to win series at home against Central Division opponents is going to be very important. And if you can go on the road and maybe win a series here and there, and but not get swept, you're going to give yourself a chance to win the Central. And the Cardinals are definitely capable of doing that.
I agree. Well, we're gonna wait and see. I can't wait to get out there, DA. I know you usually make a pilgrimage up to Wrigley Field. You still plan on doing that this year?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, that's something that hide the cameras, put the babies away, and it kind of reminds you of The Hangover. At the end of the first Hangover, hey, we're gonna look at this one time. And then we got one time. We're gonna throw this camera away. After that, all right, everyone. All right. So
one time,
and then there's your buddy in the back going, "Oh my gosh!" Classic, right? Is that what he says? Classic.
Yeah, classic.
So, and I look forward to getting up to a couple Cardinals games this year. So it is a great time to be here. Outside of that, just in life in general. So, hey, that's our second segment. We're going to come back and end the show off with our third segment. But we appreciate you being here on the Missouri Sports Network. Listen to Huddle Up inside of the Bambino's fine Italian studio. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Walnut Street Inn is located in the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State campus, Hammonds Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
Welcome back, everyone. We're going to wrap up Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside of the Bambino's fine Italian studio. We're going to do a really quick wrap up here, but I do want to hit on a couple things here because here's how I feel. I don't know if I'm really kind of just tired of this Tiger Woods deal, or I'm just inside of my feelings and I need to let it go. I'm just feeling like I've never really been impressed with Tiger Woods as a person. And from what I could see, his public persona, some of the behind the scenes things I've read, some of the way I've seen him interact with people, it just seems like, when your wife chases you and beats you, just batters your car. It was just a lot of stuff that was going on that I really didn't seem. Then he kind of had his accident and got away with it. I don't know what everybody's like. Well, just don't worry about it. Well, he could have put other people. I don't know. But I don't know if he can win the Masters or not. But let me ask you guys real quick: does he even have a chance to win tomorrow?
Well, I think Tiger Woods, he feels like he's got a chance. You go back to when they played in St. Louis at Belle Reve, and he won that tournament, and that was amazing. Now, that wasn't the Masters. That's not at Augusta, but he's maybe a 50-1 odd to win, but he's made 23 consecutive cuts. So if he can make the cut, Tiger's got a chance if he can get to Sunday.
I asked you a question. Can he win the thing? Yes or no?
No.
Can he make the cut?
I think he makes the cut. He's made 23 in a row.
What about you, DA?
I would agree with Guy on both cases.
I don't think he makes the cut. I don't think he finishes it. I don't think he fit. And I think when he feels like he can't make that cut, I think he's going to drop out. Now, I've been so wrong before, and the biggest wrong I've had before, one time I called you guys handsome. But the second biggest thing that I've ever had wrong before was that I just knew the Chiefs were going to lose this year. And I just had it in my mind and in my heart and in my soul that the Chiefs were not going to win. And I'm going to go out on a limb and I'll buy each one of you dinner at Bambino's if the Chiefs win. Now, y'all got to give me something. You don't even have to buy me anything expensive. I'm a Burger King guy. Just give me a double Whopper with cheese. I just can't see them, but they did win. So all the crow I had to eat, I'm full of crow right now. Congratulations. I said I would come on the air and congratulate the Kansas City Chiefs and their fans for winning this last Super Bowl. Gentlemen, anything y'all want to end on that with the Chiefs at all? Rubbing my nose in it anyway, you can't.
No, it's all right. You did a good enough job. I'm looking forward to the draft. I'm looking forward to the draft. I want to see if the Arizona Cardinals are wanting 3 number 1 draft picks to move up to number 4, and if they do that and get Marvin Harrison Jr. at that number 4 pick, but right now people don't want to trade with the Chiefs. They just keep getting steals in the draft.
DA, what do you think about that? What do you think about the Chiefs or who they need to get to draft this year?
Boy, they're going to be so deep in the draft. I don't think draft is going to make a difference as much as free agency.
Yeah.
Just plugging in some holes, especially with some D-backs in that back row. They're going to have to fill some holes there and just keep getting better. Their defense carried them last year. Yeah. And if there's got to be one constant, if you're going to keep winning Super Bowls, they've got to continue to build on that defensive side.
Well, everyone, I'm going to leave you with this. We're going to leave with this because I got a video that I might show one day. I might just keep in the archives. It's of DA and Scoreboard Guy doing karaoke to Taylor Swift. If they ever get on my nerves, I'm going to pull out that video and put it on here. Hey, we appreciate you listening to the Missouri Huddle up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside Bambino's Fine Italian Studio. Hey, we're going to do it every week. If you just want to come back and hang out and have fun, we'll do it. Just let us know. Leave some messages. Leave us a message on our social media platforms about what you might want to hear us talk about, and we'll do it. So we appreciate you, guys. Been good getting back in the saddle with you. The boys are back in town, and so we're going to leave it at that and say good night.
This has been a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network. Thank you for tuning in.